Hey guys, good to see you back. Today we talk about a new skill, inference, pretty similar to the function skill, another indirect skill. It needs a bit of an effort to work it out. Inference skill luckily got keywords that we can identify it from those keywords. Like inferred. It can be inferred. Anyway, the skill is kind of indirect one. Inference is asking you to analyze a phrase and infer and deduce and figure out its meaning. Usually it comes in quotation mark and asks you to infer the meaning of certain word, certain phrase, sentence, or paragraph. The answer is not usually direct. You need to look in between the words. You need to figure out the meaning beyond the words. You need to infer the direct meaning, the hidden meaning, to guess it, to infer it, to find the meaning of a word, of a phrase, of a sentence, of a paragraph, of a line, of a group of lines. You need to understand the sentence or the claim, and you need to deduce its meaning. Usually, the location of the answer is going to be a bit above or below the given lines. In novel passages, the inference question is asking you to guess or infer the meaning of a saying, of a comment, of a repetition, of an expression, of a phrase, of a character. In inference or in scientific passages, inference questions are asking you to guess and infer the meaning of a saying, of a comment, of a repetition, of an expression, of a phrase, of a scientist on a result of a survey, of an experiment, of a study, of a research, or a finding. In history passages, inference questions are asking you to deduce or guess the meaning of a saying or a comment or a repetition or an expression of a phrase of a politician on a historical or a historical figure on an event. Usually the frequency of the inference is between 5 to 7 times. The pure inference questions come in the whole section between 5 to 7 times. I'm saying pure because it could come in the evidence support as the first question, and here we can approach it in a different way. Anyway, the keywords that tell us it's an inference skill are the word infer. When you see in the question, infer, it can be inferred. Imply, it can be implied. Indicate, it can be indicated. State, it can be stated. Suggest, it can be suggested. How we're going to answer? First and most significant, never look at the answer choices ahead. And then we have to analyze the question. We have to rephrase it. You have to rephrase it as follows. You're going to say, what does this word, if it's a word, this phrase, if it's a phrase, this line, if it's a line, this sentence, if it's a sentence, this paragraph, if it's a paragraph, mean? What does it mean? And then you might be given a referenced lines that we call citation, like a word, like a phrase, like a line, like a sentence, or a paragraph. You will need to read that word, that phrase, that line, that sentence, that paragraph. And you also need to read around them. You need to read one or two sentences around them. And you have to expect the correct answer choice either before those lines or below those lines. If the question does not have referenced lines, we may use a lead word from the question. A lead word is a unique word, a special word that gets often repeated, that shows up in the answer and has to show up in the answer. So you will need to read to spot the lead word, read around it, and understand the claim. So if you're being given a lead word, read around it. If you've been given lines, read around them and understand the claim. Then figure out the tone. Those lines are talking positively or talking negatively. Ask yourself, what does the word, if it's a word, the phrase, if it's a phrase, the line, if it's a line, the sentence, if it's a sentence, the paragraph, if it's a paragraph, mean? What can be inferred? What can be deduced? What can be guessed from it? The correct answer choice has to have qualification or attributes. You need to, here we're going to get down to the answer choices, and you need to pick up the choice that got those attributes. Number one, got a direct support in the referenced lines. Number two, no more, no less. It does not add any extra information. It does not leave any information uncovered. So the correct answer choice has to get exactly the meaning in the lines. Does not add any extra knowledge and does not leave any knowledge uncovered. Then, correct answer choice has to be consistent with a tone. If the tone is positive, the correct answer choice has to be positive and vice versa. Correct answer choice should be having should not be having extreme words unless they are needed. When they're needed, when the citation, reference lines, spot around the lead word are talking extremely, then your answer should be extreme, and that doesn't really happen often. Anyway, I have an example here. Let's see our today's example. Let's see. I have a question. It says it's one of the real sad tests. Based on the passage, what can reasonably be inferred? From inferred, we could tell it's an inference skill. What can reasonably be inferred about the galaxies billions of years ago? You can never tell that the question got lines. No lines. You have not been given referenced lines, so I have to use lead words. A word that would lead me to where the answer is. Taking billions as a lead word and looking for it, digging in the passage looking for it, I did not find it. I took galaxies as a lead word and I have been digging in a passage looking for it. I eventually found galaxies. Has been found in line, here we go, in line number 21 to 3, in line number 23. In line number 23, we could find the lead word galaxies. Then We're going to read from the beginning of the sentence. Reading from there, it says, those deep, HUDF, going up, you can figure out that HDUF is new camera at the Hubble Ultra Deep Field. It's a new camera in the Hubble telescope. Then, reading back again around the lead word, it says those deep HUDF, the camera in the Hubble telescope, images revealed shown some of the most distant galaxies. Distant means far away, ever found, very far away, which look very different than nearby galaxies. Nearby galaxies is our known galaxies. So the claim says the found galaxies are far away and they look very different than our nearby galaxies. But the HUDF represented just a pinprick poke at the universe. Okay, here is the claim I got. The the HUDF has shown images of galaxies far away at the distance, which look very different from the nearby galaxies, which are our own galaxies. Here is the claim we could pick up. Let us go through the answer choices. Answer choice D, for example, it says they were much larger, larger. There is no support for the word larger. It never said larger, it only said distant, far away, than astronomers had expected. There is no expectation from astronomers, and astronomers are not supported, and they did not come up with a claim in this spot. So astronomers got no support, larger got no support, then choice D is eliminated. Choice C, they were grouped together in one location in the sky. Being grouped, being aggregated is having no support, and in one location it's not a correct claim or information. He never said they being grouped in one location. For this, choice C is eliminated. Choice B, they were dominated, controlled by type LA or IA supernovae. There is no support for supernovae. There is no support for it. Being dominated got no support as well. And then choice B is out. Let us see choice A, which seems to be correct. They looked very different. Yes, being different is supported from galaxies today. He meant galaxies today. He meant our own galaxies, nearby galaxies, the galaxies we are familiar with today. Our nearby galaxies, they were different. Yes, it's indicated. Yes, it's supported. Then choice A is a correct choice. Let us see another one. Let us see another one, guys. Another example. Here we go. It says, in the passage, the actions of Jass's father suggest that he. Suggest is a key word that indicates the inference skill. Suggest can be suggested. So we need to know the information beyond the actions of the father of Jess, not the direct claim or information. We need to read in between the lines and see what can be deduced, what can be guessed from the actions of the father of Jess. As long as we don't have reference lines, we have to take a lead word. The most common lead word here is father. Why we're not taking Jess? Because Jess is the main character in the passage. It's going to be repeated everywhere. And father is not a main character. His name doesn't show up often, and hence it can be a very good lead word. And the answer choice has to include the word father. So what can be guessed from the actions of Jess's father, taking father as a lead word. And scanning for, it takes us to line, here we go, where is father? Line number 51. It's shown in line number 51. So we can read from the beginning. After they had taken baths and Jess had been made to eat a little, her mother disappeared while her youngest sister, with her youngest sister, Auntie Viola, and her father befriended, to befriend, to make friends. It means he is social. He likes sociality. He likes to socialize. The father befriended, made a friend, made a friendship with Uncle Connell, who was clearly as newspaper minded as he was. He is into reading newspaper and finding information about politics. I wanted to talk about politics. Yeah, but both are befriending and both are sharing the same thing, newspaper reading and sharing political points. Swiftly dropping a kiss onto her forehead, her father, here is the lead word again, released her into her grandfather's clutches. He left after he befriended Uncle Connell, talking politics and talking about newspaper information. He kissed his daughter on the forehead and left and released his daughter to her grandfather. He left the daughter with the grandfather so they can both socialize and get used to each other before mounting the stairs that led up to the roof balcony of the house. The claims I got from here. Number one, the father is sociable and likes to make friends. He made friends with Uncle Connell, and both are sharing the task or the skill of reading newspapers and talking about politics. And then the father left, kissing the daughter on the forehead and leaving her to socialize with the grandfather. These are these are all the claims we got. Let us go through the answer choices. Answer choice A is less sociable. This is contrary to fact. The father is sociable. He made friends with Uncle Connell. He shares reading newspapers and talking politics with him. So the word is wrong. He is less sociable than are the other members of the family. We did not talk about the sociality of the other members of the family. Then choice A is out. Choice B has an imperfect understanding of Nigerian culture. The Nigerian culture has not been shown here. Being understanding or not understanding is not supported. Perfect or imperfect is having no support. The claim of Nigerian culture is not existing in the lines we're at. Then choice B is wrong. Choice C, advocates defending for Jess to choose her own name. There is no indication for a name. They never talked about a name or choosing a name. So it is not correct. Choice C is out, is eliminated. Then choice B is going to be correct. Choice D says wishes to promote. To promote means to encourage. Jess's introduction to her grandfather. Yes, after he kissed her on the forehead, he left her in the clutches of the grandfather. He left her to socialize with the grandfather. So he is promoting, he's encouraging Jess's introduction to the grandfather, left them both together so they can talk and socialize and get closer. For this, choice D is having a support and it's a correct choice. Choice D is the correct choice. That was the inference skill. It's one of the most indirect skills. You guys need to work it out very well. You need to know that you're not looking for direct information. You look into guessing, figuring out, obtaining the information from beyond the words. You need to read in between the lines. You need to find out what can be deduced when something has been said, when someone says something. What can be guessing? What can be guessed? What can be deduced? What can be figured out? What can be introduced from beyond the words or from beyond the speech they are giving. Thank you guys. Until we meet again with a new skill. Thank you. See you soon.